The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Martin Laurent was arrested. However, villains always seem to escape, no matter how high security the prison is in soaps. Martin could escape or even have someone take his place, much like Ian Ward arranged for Jordan. It's possible that Martin could go to New York to finish what he started with Tracy Abbott and Ashley Abbott. Keep reading and let's talk about the possibilities. Fans recall that Tracy was really struggling when she realized that Ian Laurent might actually be his dead twin brother, Martin. Tracy confided her fears to Jack Abbott, who got Chance Chancellor involved. Then, Ashley returned and got caught up with Jack. When Jack mentioned that Alan might actually be Martin, she was horrified. After that, Jack and Ashley went rushing to Tracy's suite, where Martin was unraveling. It was after that encounter when Ashley told Tracy that there was no doubt that man was not Alan Laurent. After that, Chance tried to question Alan, but got a nasty response. Then, Jack, Ashley, and Tracy all cornered Martin to demand the truth. Martin still wouldn't confess and was even brought in for questioning. Martin only confessed after a double confrontation with his kidnapping victims, Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers. Of course, Chance arrested Martin. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that after Martin's arrest, Tracy did some thinking. Tracy stunned Jack and Diane Jenkins Abbott by saying she was going to New York. Tracy felt that there was a book waiting to come out of all this. Jack and Diane were pretty concerned, but felt better when they learned Ashley would be going to NY with Tracy. In soaps, villains always seem to escape prison. Martin is an experienced sociopath who has been planning this experiment for a long time. Sharon and Phyllis were just an experiment, though. So what is the real treatment for? And what is the ultimate goal? Maybe Martin escapes just to follow Tracy and Ashley to New York. Is it possible that Martin could silently conduct his treatment on Tracy, Ashley, or perhaps both of them? Martin's arrest seemed rather lackluster for such a bombshell storyline. So I have to wonder if there's a little bit more to this story up ahead. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest Adam Newman may propose at the upcoming Newman Bash. Will Chelsea Lawson get a marriage offer that upstages Nikki Newman's birthday? Nikki indeed has a birthday celebration coming up, since we know a Newman party planner named Pietro will help prepare for the event. Pietro will make his Y and R debut on May 28, and he'll appear in 3 other episodes as part of this story arc as well. That makes it sound like Nikki's bash will be a full-blown birthday extravaganza, so there are sure to be some fun surprises along the way. Could Adam's unexpected marriage proposal be one of them? Victor Newman was pleased when he got updates on Adam and Chelsea's long-awaited reunion, but he'd be even happier if they were planning a wedding. As far as Victor is concerned, Chelsea and Adam are meant to be. Since Victor has already been hinting about Adam and Chelsea's nuptials, he might push Adam to pop the question sooner rather than later. Adam has often been rather impulsive about proposing to his lovers in the past, so that's something to keep in mind. Between that and any pressure Victor might apply, it's easy to imagine Adam buying Chelsea an engagement ring and proposing at this event. Of course, it would steal attention from Nikki's birthday, but Victor may urge Adam to do it anyway and deliver this grand gesture in front of the whole family. Victor might argue that it will only add to the celebratory vibe and give everyone another reason to party, at least if Chelsea says yes. Chelsea might have some reservations about marrying Adam if he asks her this fast, but another part of her might get swept up in the romance of it all. Adam might put Chelsea on the spot, but could she follow her heart and agree to make wedding plans? Regardless, Adam will keep making positive predictions about the road ahead with Chelsea. so there's a chance he might propose when it's time for Nikki's birthday party. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Chelsea may have a shocker headed her way, so stick with us for any engagement news that might be brewing. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Devon Winters is very suspicious. He doesn't trust Damian Kane for increasingly personal reasons. Initially, Devon disliked Damian's first impression. He used Holden Novak as an imposter to shield his identity. While the above issue has been resolved, Devon sees another potentially more significant problem. He feels that Damian and Lily Winters share romantic interest in each other. Lily was spot on when telling her brother that he was grumpy. James' character has assumed that personality type as he moves into early middle age. Longtime fans of this great soap opera recall when James became part of the cast. He and Khalil joined the show before they were adults. Watching the actors grow through the years has been a joy for fans of this genre. Of course, Khalil is outstanding, but that story can be told in a future feature. So seeing James project yet another element of this complex character is satisfying. The progression from a troubled youth to a married man, father, and co-head of Winters Incorporated reflects the best of soap. His textured performances across the years have earned multiple nominations and a Daytime Emmy Award in the supporting actor category. It's not hard to imagine him earning a trophy in the lead actor category someday. Damian wants Lily to believe that he's come clean. Telling her what he has about Aristotle Dumas is a start. But as Devon is saying, there's still so much that everyone doesn't know about Nate Hastings' newly realized brother. However, it is encouraging that Damian didn't immediately accept Lily's request. She hasn't been candid with Damian, which affirms Lily's position in keeping her guard up. But it feels plausible that Damian will find a way to maintain his job, while also providing the woman he likes with useful information. Some time has passed since Lily has been in love. She has been distracted by a series of business setbacks, with Victor Newman hopefully helping her to avoid an attack by Aristotle, with or without Damian's involvement. Rivers joined the cast as a regular, so Damian's storyline will likely deepen as the months pass. That's good because Rivers has seamlessly fit into Y&R's landscape. Damian offers plenty of plot potential. However, whatever his connection is to Aristotle, and whoever that proves to be, it should be revealed and addressed before he and Lily can progress toward a relationship. Assuming that moment is reached, this pairing has excellent potential. This The Young and the Restless recap showed Jack and Kyle turning the tables, while Claire and Lily sparked new connections. Trust and secrets continue to stir Genoa City's drama pot. With more tension brewing, don't blink, every moment counts. For more juicy recaps and future updates, stay with Soap Opera Daily. Late one evening, the usually vibrant society lounge in Genoa City buzzed with muted conversations and the soft clinking of cocktail glasses. But Sharon and Phyllis were locked in a private war of whispers. Hidden in a dim corner booth, the two women had their eyes locked on one person, Tracy Abbott. "Look at her," Sharon murmured, nodding toward Tracy, who leaned casually at the bar. Her demeanor was confident, her eyes alert, and a mysterious smile hinted at secrets buried deep. Phyllis's gaze hardened. "She's behind this, Sharon. I feel it in my bones." No one could have brought Martin back into Genoa City without serious connections. And now he's back, like a ghost, reawakening nightmares we thought were long buried. Their fear wasn't unfounded. Martin Ashford, the infamous hypnotist and manipulative psychologist, had re-emerged from the shadows with a chilling calm and a web of secrets no one was prepared for. Phyllis's theory, that Tracy was aiding Martin, was brushed off by many as wild conjecture. But as Sharon listened to her friend connect the dots, unease settled over her. "What if Martin didn't need to plant new suggestions?" Sharon whispered. "What if Tracy's been under his influence this whole time, programmed, unknowingly, to help him when he called?" Phyllis shivered at the thought. "He's not just a criminal, he's a mind thief, And Tracy, she's brilliant but vulnerable. He could have used her, twisted her loyalty. And now, she's gone dark, off the grid. Detective Chance Chancellor sat in silence at the Genoa City Police Department. He dismissed Phyllis's suspicions before, chalking them up to paranoia. But something Martin said during his booking struck a nerve. Martin sat in his cell, calm, patient, muttering under his breath. Soon I'll be free." Chance approached the cell window, suspicion burning in his chest. "Martin Ashford," he said, voice low and deliberate. "I want to know who's helping you. Is it Tracy Abbott?" Martin looked up, a lazy grin forming. "Tracy? She's just an old friend. If she is helping me, well, wouldn't that be a lovely surprise?" Chance didn't smile. "Escape, and I'll have every officer in this city hunting you down." Martin's voice softened into a chilling murmur. "Careful who you trust, detective. Not everyone is who they seem." That cryptic warning echoed in Chance's ears long after he locked the cell door behind him. Sometimes you think you know everything there is to know about your favorite daytime television star, until you realize there really isn't much that you know about them. One of them happens to be the young and the restless star Michelle Stafford, who is best known for her role as Phyllis Summers on the hit CBS soap. There's been a lot of speculation on whether or not the actress has gone under the knife in the past, but luckily, we've got some answers for you. Keep reading below for everything you need to know. Did Michelle Stafford get plastic surgery? Has she gotten a nose job? While there's no doubt that soap stars are the few people on this planet that seem to age gracefully and still look as beautiful as they did when they first made their debut on the small screen, sometimes medical intervention isn't the only answer. Back in December 2023, Michelle Stafford herself set the record straight when she said that anyone who has ever hinted that she has had plastic surgery in the past is clearly lying. When one person had asked her, "You've had implants in your cheeks, you've had a dimple made in your chin, you've had your lips enlarged, you've had your eyelids and slash or lashes reconstructed," it didn't take very long for Michelle to respond. She said, "Oh God, oh please, please, it's stupid." The actress then added, "None of it's true. It's BS, they made it up. They lie, they don't want to give me credit for anything," while also adding, "Never believe what you read." Now that folks is something you can believe. Michelle is the natural beauty she always was and will always be. The Young and the Restless airs weekdays on the CBS network. Check your local listings for times. Tell us, what do you think about this story? Leave us your thoughts in our comment section below. Also, watch this space for all of the latest breaking news. Come back to Celebrating the Soaps for everything you need to know about The Young and the Restless, General Hospital, The Bold and the Beautiful Days of Our Lives, the British royal family, and the hottest celebs. Phyllis Summers has faced evil before, but The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest she's nearing her breaking point. Sharon is heading to London, leaving Phyllis alone to deal with the emotional aftermath of Martin Lawrence's twisted games. With Sharon gone and Martin possibly escaping prison, could Phyllis be pushed too far? Sharon provided balance. Now, her absence might send Phyllis spiraling. Phyllis is still scared by Martin's sick experiment. He claimed to help her, but it felt like torture. His smugness, his madness, it's burned into her memory. Even with Martin behind bars, the trauma clings to her. The fear of his return grows stronger. What if he escapes? What if he comes back for her again? Phyllis isn't sleeping. She isn't healing. She's simply waiting for something terrible to happen. Martin's mind is warped. He thinks he's a genius. He believes Sharon and Phyllis should thank him. When they tricked him into confessing, they shattered his fake identity, but they also lit a fire inside him. Martin blames them for everything. He lost Tracy. He lost his power. Now, Martin could be plotting revenge. If he breaks out, Phyllis could be his first stop. The thought terrifies her, but it also tempts her. If Martin comes back, could she stop him forever, She doesn't want blood on her hands again. But she's not the same woman she used to be. Phyllis has done terrible things to survive. She's lied, schemed, and taken justice into her own hands. If Martin threatens her peace again, she may not wait for the police. With Sharon off to London, Phyllis is left behind. She must face her demons alone. Her kids are worried. Her friends don't know how deep her fear runs. And Martin? He could break out any moment. If he manages to sneak back into Genoa City, he could whisper lies, spread terror, or worse. And Phyllis knows, if he tries, she might have to end it. Could the young and the restless spoilers be hinting at something shocking? Will Phyllis become judge, jury, and executioner? The show has kept Martin alive for a reason. Maybe this isn't over. Maybe a deadly showdown is coming. Keep watching for more twists. Phyllis might lose herself. She might snap. And when she does, Martin may not walk away. That's the latest buzz from Genoa City. Do you think Phyllis will kill Martin if he escapes? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. For more, The Young and the Restless spoilers, stay tuned to Soap Opera Daily, where drama never sleeps. The Young and the Restless spoilers. The longing of Tracy from the moment she first heard rumors of Alan's disappearance. Tracy Winters felt a hollow ache in her chest. She had loved him with every fiber of her being, his quiet smile, the gentle way he held her hand on rainy afternoons, the dreams they wove together of a life shared. But when those dreams shattered and Alan vanished without a trace, her world tipped into darkness. Every dawn she awoke hoping for news. Every dusk she prayed for a sign. Yet for years, nothing came but whispers and avoidant glances. Martin Chancellor was the one man who knew the truth. He had witnessed Alan's final hours, carried his last breath on his own guilty conscience. When Tracy begged him for answers, Martin had slammed the door of his apartment in her face. He refused to speak. His silence tormented Tracy more than any scream could have. It was a betrayal that cut deeper than a knife. Friends reached out, but she rebuffed them all. Her only obsession was discovering whether Alan still lived. Could he be alive? Was there hope? The mere possibility anchored her to sanity. She realized that searching in vain among old haunts would get her nowhere. If the truth was to be found, it lay beyond Genoa City's limits. Packing a small bag, she scribbled a note for her nearest and dearest, apologizing for the pain she would cause and promising she would return only when she knew Alan's fate. At dawn, she boarded a bus bound for Chicago. Each mile she traveled throbbed with anticipation. On the road, she replayed every memory. Their first date. His laugh as she teased him. The night they danced under the stars. She imagined seeing him again, alive and well, arms outstretched. That vision fueled her until the wheels carried her farther from home into the unknown. Turned out to be scant leads, an out-of-date address, a name no one recognized, a phone number disconnected. Doors slammed in her face. Nights were the hardest. The emptiness pressed in on her like a vice. Yet still she pressed on, refusing to surrender. Back in Genoa, Martin Chancellor paced the length of his study. Guilt hounded him, a relentless beast. He had watched Tracy leave, tears in her eyes. He regretted withholding the truth. But he promised himself he would protect her from the horror of what happened to Alan. Better to let her chase a phantom than face the reality of his corpse. Yet a dark impulse seized him. If Tracy pined in ignorance, her life lay in limbo. He justified his next act as a mercy. He issued a carefully worded press release, mundane on its face. An unnamed man had died under tragic circumstances years ago, accompanied by a sterile medical summary. But buried at the end were 3 words that shattered Tracy's heart across the continent. Alan Winters died regretting you. She was in a dingy motel on the outskirts of Detroit, chasing yet another dead end. The front desk clerk handed her the clattering news pamphlet with a sympathetic look. Tracy skimmed it for the familiar name, then faltered. The word seized her throat. She sank into the chair, trembling, unable to breathe. They say in the final moments, life flashes before you. For Alan, those last instants were a tapestry of joy and regret, caught in a mugging. A single bullet meant for the assailant's wallet found its mark in Alan's chest. He fell against the cold pavement, vision blurring. Neon signs melted into watery halos. Martin, horrified, arrived seconds later, cradling Alan's head in his lap. Alan's lips moved, but only barely, a rasp against the roar of traffic. Martin bent closer. Alan's final breath. "I'm sorry, Tracy. I'm so sorry. My greatest regret is not building our life side by side." Then, nothing. The hotel room spun as Tracy read and reread Martin's press release. Her tears fell in silent rivulets, each one an accusation. She had chased hope across state lines only to be betrayed. She struck at the walls, screamed at the heavens, clawed at her scalp until it stung. How dare Martin rob her of the chance to say goodbye? How dare he withhold the truth, feign ignorance, and then drop this bomb into her world? "Martin Chancellor," she whispered, lips trembling, eyes blazing. "May the weight of what you've done follow you to the deepest depths of hell." The ever-turbulent world of the young and the restless is entering a high-stakes chapter, with loyalty, power, and deception at the center of the unfolding drama. At the heart of the storm lies Michael Baldwin, whose commitment to Victor Newman is about to be tested like never before. Michael Baldwin has worked diligently to regain Victor Newman's trust after past missteps. Once considered a reliable, confident, and legal advisor, Michael's relationship with Victor has become a cornerstone of his personal and professional identity. However, the return of Diane Jenkins Abbott has complicated that dynamic. Diane's reemergence, coupled with her deep-rooted history with Michael, poses a serious threat to his allegiance. Her growing involvement with Jack Abbott and her strategic maneuvers could draw Michael into a conflict that forces him to choose between loyalty and compassion. While Diane relies on her past friendship with Michael to gain influence, any misstep on his part could undo years of effort in rebuilding trust with Victor. Diane is playing a long game, aligning with Jack Abbott, while subtly attempting to sway Michael's decisions. With tensions between the Newmans and Abbotts escalating, Michael becomes a valuable asset that both sides may seek to control. Diane's tactics, however, may risk more than she anticipates. If Michael falters, the repercussions will ripple across his legal career and his reputation within Genoa City. Long-standing tensions between Jack Abbott and Victor Newman are reaching a boiling point. Both leaders are engaged in layered power struggles, with each attempting to outmaneuver the other through corporate tactics and personal vendettas. Victor, known for his strategic prowess, is intensifying efforts against Jack, using every resource at his disposal to safeguard his legacy and assert dominance. Meanwhile, Jack is rallying the Abbott family to defend Jabot, a key symbol of their heritage, against mounting pressure from Newman Enterprises. With legal battles and boardroom politics at play, both sides are preparing for a confrontation that could reshape the business and familial landscape of Genoa City. Amidst this turmoil, Victor is also leveraging new allies. Audra Charles, known for her manipulative edge and complex ties to both the Abbotts and Newmans, has emerged as a key figure in his latest schemes. Her involvement with Kyle Abbott and the potential disruption of his relationship with Claire Newman adds another layer of intrigue, as Victor seeks to destabilize the younger generation of his rivals. Whether Audra is fully aligned with Victor or pursuing her own agenda remains uncertain. Regardless, her presence adds volatility to an already unpredictable situation. Caught in the middle is Nikki Newman, who continues to serve as a stabilizing force in the face of escalating chaos. As Victor's wife and longtime mediator, Nikki is increasingly challenged by his unyielding pursuit of vengeance. Her attempts to steer Victor away from destructive choices, especially as they affect their granddaughter Claire, have so far been in vain. Nikki's position is increasingly untenable, as she struggles to balance loyalty to her husband with a desire for peace and emotional well-being for those caught in the crossfire. The Abbott family, led by Jack, is preparing to counter Victor's offensive. Protecting Jabot is not only a business imperative but a deeply personal mission. As the conflict escalates, the Abbotts are bracing for boardroom showdowns, strategic countermoves, and potentially painful sacrifices. As the rivalry deepens, the future of Michael Baldwin will hinge on the decisions he makes in the coming weeks. Whether he chooses to stand by Victor or yields to Diane's emotional appeals will determine his fate in this high-stakes saga. Meanwhile, Nikki's efforts to mediate may prove futile against Victor's entrenched need for retribution. Fans of The Young and the Restless should prepare for an intense series of episodes as old alliances fracture, new ones form, and Genoa City braces for a transformative clash. The battle between the Abbotts and Newmans is far from over, and its consequences will echo across every storyline. In an unexpected twist on The Young and the Restless, the once indomitable Victor Newman has suffered a devastating stroke, an event triggered by internal betrayal and familial rejection. The fallout marks a critical turning point not only for Victor, but for the entire Newman dynasty. Victor Newman, long revered and feared for his strategic genius and cutthroat methods, has built a reputation as the unshakable patriarch of Genoa City. However, the empire he meticulously shaped is beginning to fracture from within. His confident-turned-traitor, Audra Charles, has exposed the vulnerabilities in his armor. Initially drawn to Victor's promise of influence, Audra soon realized that aligning with him meant sacrificing her autonomy and integrity. Disillusioned by his manipulation and disregard for even his closest allies, she made the calculated decision to turn on him, feeding critical information to Kyle Abbott and Claire Newman. This alliance would become the catalyst for a broader rebellion. Audra's betrayal was not fueled by vengeance but survival. Recognizing the risks of staying loyal to a man whose loyalty was transactional, she flipped sides at a moment when Victor's web of deception was already beginning to unravel. Her move wasn't without emotional cost, especially given her growing connection with Nate Hastings, a principal doctor who admired her courage. Their relationship, rooted in shared values and mutual respect, provided Audra with a support system as the consequences of her decisions loomed large. Nate's reassurance helped her navigate the complex emotions tied to her betrayal, reinforcing her belief that exposing Victor was the morally just path, even if it meant personal sacrifice. The betrayal didn't go unnoticed. Victor, for the first time in years, lost his grip on control. As his children began to confront the truth behind his ruthless behavior, none more boldly than his daughter Victoria, he faced a wave of resentment. Victoria's public condemnation served as the final emotional blow. The confrontation triggered a medical emergency. Victor collapsed, the victim of an acute ischemic stroke. Now hospitalized, Victor lies unconscious, his prognosis uncertain. Though the emergency surgery was successful in restoring blood flow, the next 72 hours remain critical. With his health in question, the power vacuum surrounding him grows more volatile. Whether Victor recovers or not, the landscape of Genoa City has already shifted. Audra's revelations have empowered key players, Kyle, Claire, and Nate, to challenge the Newman stronghold. As Victor's empire teeters, his family must now decide: rebuild under a new leadership or engage in a potentially destructive power struggle. For Audra, her gamble has paid off for now. She's positioned herself as a key figure in whatever emerges from the ashes of Victor's dominion. But she remains haunted by the image of the fallen Titan, wondering whether a different path could have avoided the chaos now unfolding. Victor Newman's fate, be it survival or death, will redefine the power structure of Genoa City. If he recovers, he returns to a world where trust is scarce and influence is diluted. If he dies, it marks the end of an era, setting the stage for a storm of ambition, betrayal, and new leadership. In the latest Young and the Restless episode, a complex web of power plays, psychological warfare, and corporate strategy unfolds, centered around Victor Newman's unrelenting ambition to dominate his rivals. At the heart of the story is Victor Newman, whose calculated demeanor masks an obsessive need for both control and recognition. His latest scheme targets the Abbott family, with Jack and Diane Abbott in his crosshairs. Victor's belief in his own strategic infallibility borders on tyrannical perfectionism. He doesn't merely want to defeat his adversaries, he wants their public submission. Yet his approach, though methodical and menacing, is not without vulnerabilities. Across town, Jack and Diane are anything but passive. They're quietly organizing a unified response, pooling resources and rallying allies from within Jabot and beyond. Their counter-strategy leans heavily on exploiting Victor's greatest weakness, his overconfidence. What follows is a subtle but high-stakes game of anticipation, misdirection, and corporate brinkmanship. Meanwhile, at Chancellor Winters, Lily Winters wrestles with internal conflict, both emotional and professional. Her growing involvement with Damien Kane, a consultant with a shadowed past and questionable motives, threatens to compromise her leadership. Despite his charm and promises to unify a fractured family enterprise, Damien's connections to covert Newman-backed financial maneuvers raise red flags. Lily must decide whether to trust him or risk everything her father built. As tensions escalate, a potential alliance forms between the Abbotts and the Winters. This unexpected coalition could shift Genoa City's balance of power. Damien, faced with the consequences of his involvement, delivers evidence implicating Victor in Shell Company stock manipulation. His offer to testify under limited immunity triggers a critical turning point, forcing Lily, Devon, and Nate to reconsider what unity really means. By episode's end, Genoa City teeters on the edge of corporate warfare. Victor, though still the architect of complex plans, begins to sense resistance growing stronger and more coordinated. Lightning, both literal and symbolic, illuminates the uncertainty ahead. The battleground is no longer confined to boardrooms. It's ideological, emotional, and personal. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that there are 3 Newmans who need storyline shakeups. So let's talk about some fresh directions for these important characters. My and R has a chance to breathe new life into the Newman clan if these family members head down different paths. 1. Victoria Newman for starters. Victoria Newman could use a shakeup. Although it's been nice for Victoria to explore her softer side, we're really starting to miss her edge. Victoria is focused on being a doting mom, but that doesn't give her much of a storyline to work with. It'd be great to see Victoria do more than spend her days trying to bubble wrap Claire Newman and offering motherly advice. There's an easy way to fix that if Victoria gets updates on Victor Newman's romantic sabotage plot. Victor is going too far by using Audra Charles to target Claire and Kyle Abbott's relationship, so Victoria's revenge may be brewing. Could this be the jolt Victoria's storyline needs? Victoria might get her edge back, and could potentially even team up with someone like Jack Abbott against her own father. 2. Victor Newman, of course. Victor himself could use some new story directions. It seems silly for Grandpa Victor to be going to such extremes to meddle in his adult granddaughter's love life. Victor's current beef with Jack also makes no sense considering Jack's the one who saved Nikki Newman by getting her into rehab. Who cares how it happened as long as Nikki got her life back on track? Victor shouldn't be whining about Jack using pills and putting Nikki in jeopardy when she's doing just fine now. It's a flimsy excuse to do yet another round of the Newman-Abbott feud, but plenty of fans are over it at this point. It might be better for Victor to focus on mysterious Aristotle Dumas and stop spreading himself so thin with all these other schemes. However, Victor will inevitably have to deal with some backlash due to his actions regarding Claire and Jack, so perhaps the fallout could offer the fresh drama viewers are craving. 3. Adam Newman finally got the romantic reunion he wanted with Chelsea Lawson, so their little family with Connor Newman is on cloud 9. Adam and Chelsea can't keep having flirty fights about chips all the time, so what's next? It'd be fun to see Adam more involved in Newman business again, so maybe he could help Victor stand against Aristotle and all the chaos that's coming up. Victor will make some predictions about toppling the mystery man behind Aristotle's empire, so stay tuned for more news on his plans and whether Adam will be part of them. Whatever the case, the Young and the Restless spoilers say these 3 Newmans could have some exciting twists ahead of them. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, April 18, 2025 are here. In tomorrow's episode, fans can expect Lily Winters to open up to Amy Lewis. Meanwhile, Diane Jenkins Abbott confronts Michael Baldwin. Keep reading, and let's discuss what is coming up in the next episode of the CBS soap opera. Lily will have a discussion with Amy in tomorrow's episode. Of course, Damian Kane will be the topic. Lily might keep her proposition to Damian to herself. However, Lily could tell Amy that she's beginning to trust her son. Of course, there are a lot of unanswered questions. While Damian gave Lily the story of how he came to work for Aristotle Dumas, it sounds really far-fetched, even for a soap. Amy might offer Lily some words of wisdom on how to best handle Damian. While Lily finds herself opening up easily to Damian, Devon Winters could issue more warnings. Devon doesn't trust Damian at all and thinks the man has already done his magic on Lily. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Diane gave Jack Abbott a hard time over keeping secrets. So Jack confided in the deal with the plant at Gibboat to turn him into a double agent. However, now Diane realizes that Michael helped Victor Newman make this happen. While Diane knows she can't control Michael, she expected him to at least give her a heads up. Here's the thing about secrets that a lot of people don't seem to understand. If someone is going to tell you something in confidence, you don't go running around having confrontations and blasting that so-called secret unless lives are in danger or something. So does Diane keep her mouth shut until after they have victory? Of course not. Diane goes straight to Michael to blast him. Once Jack learns about this, he won't feel comfortable telling her anything else, that's for sure. Diane breaking this promise will have a ton of consequences. Diane's confrontation will put Michael in a tough spot. After the Jordan situation, it took a lot for Michael to earn Victor's trust back. So while he is a longtime friend of Diane's, he has his reasons why he stayed quiet. One primary reason is Diane's big mouth. So when Diane starts firing demands, how will Michael respond? Michael will certainly be stuck between a rock in Diane and a hard place in Victor. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease Claire Newman might take action against Victor Newman and Audra Charles' scheme. Could the trap involving Kyle Abbott end up causing major problems? Fans of Y&R are aware that Audra has been grappling with the decision to proceed with her plan. Trusting Victor is a challenge for her, especially after he so easily discarded her in the past. Additionally, Audra is putting her relationship with Nate Hastings on the line. Nate is not fond of the idea of Audra getting involved with Victor again, and he would be even more upset if he discovered she was orchestrating a clever trap for Kyle. Still, Audra believes she must seize this opportunity to establish her own company and truly make a mark in the business world. This is why Audra is determined to follow through with her plan, even in the face of danger. While she aims to place Kyle in a difficult situation and persuade Claire that he's a deceitful manipulator, will Claire actually buy into it? Claire has already expressed worries about Victor potentially trying to undermine her relationship. It might not take much for her to connect the dots and realize that Victor enlisted Audra to ensnare Kyle, especially if Kyle quickly reassures Claire that everything is a misunderstanding. If Claire chooses to trust Kyle, she could very well confront Victor for orchestrating this scheme. Victor's plan might have disastrous consequences if Claire decides to distance herself from her grandfather for not keeping his word. This could severely impact Claire's bond with Victor and might even lead her to leave the ranch. Kyle has been encouraging Claire to consider living together, so Victor's actions could unintentionally motivate her to take that step. At the same time, Audra could face repercussions for her role in this situation. Nate is likely to hear about Audra's efforts to sabotage Claire and Kyle's relationship, which could ultimately result in his own breakup with Audra. Once a schemer, always a schemer. Audra's true nature as a self-serving manipulator is evident, and it seems Nate might finally realize this through her recent assignment for Victor. He could foresee that Audra is unlikely to change and ultimately decide to end their relationship. However, spoilers for CBS soap hint that the scheme involving Victor and Audra could encounter some challenges. So keep your eyes peeled for any unsettling developments that may arise. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of April 21, 2025 are here. Next week, fans can expect Diane Jenkins Abbott to confront Michael Baldwin. Tessa Porter helps Daniel Romalotti Jr. with a fun project. Plus, Summer Newman could get suspicious of Audra Charles. Keep reading and let's discuss what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Diane addressed the secret keeping with Jack Abbott. Jack finally told Diane what was going on at Jabot regarding the corporate spy. Even though Jack warned he didn't want Victor Newman to know what was going on, Diane might not be able to help herself. Diane was fuming when she learned Michael's role in this. When Diane demands the truth from Michael, the former district attorney will find himself in a moral dilemma. Michael and Diane are longtime friends, so she will ream him for not even giving her a heads up. Audra has a chance to run her own company after being disgraced, humiliated, and betrayed by Victor. Interestingly enough, Victor wants Audra to divide Kyle Abbott and Claire Grace Newman. Audra thinks that it will be no problem and even hinted a little of what was to come. However, Audra thinks she is dealing with the same old Kyle. Over the months, Kyle has really matured, something that has been mentioned on screen lately. Kyle also confided in Jack that Claire is just different, so Audra's scheme might fizzle. Since Summer Newman keeps pining after Kyle, she will notice Audra staring in his direction. Summer could get suspicious as she remembers Audra's last attack on Kyle. Summer could interrogate Audra, but might not get anywhere. It would be interesting to see Summer try to get intel from Sally Spectra. Although they aren't friends, Summer is desperate and knows Sally is Audra's friend. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that fans will also see Tessa and Daniel unite for a fun project. Damian Kane likely agrees to Lily Winter's plan. However, Devon Winters will continue to believe Lily is dancing with danger. Also, Billy Abbott gets ready for a meeting with the mysterious Aristotle Dumas. However, could Billy meet with someone else in Dumas' place? Damian never even met with the man before getting hired, so stay tuned.